Applied Linguistics Group uploaded this video for BS English students. Dr. Khalid Malik, the founder, has a PhD in Applied Linguistics TESOL. He taught at many foreign universities with 25 research papers and in a postdoc abroad. He is also an approved PhD supervisor of HEC. Join Applied Linguistics Group at youtube.com/@1966Pakistani or use a QR code to join our Facebook group at
BS English, Level, BS 8th Semester Course Code, ELL 408, Introduction to Translation Studies. Question 18. Research issues in translation. Research issues in translation. This has been taken from a lecture of Dr. Muhammad Khalid Mahmood Sajid's lecture, alias Dr. Khalid Malik, in a Pakistani university. Translation is a complex process that involves the transfer of meaning from one language to another. Translation, complex process, or the difficult process of the language. Translation studies is an interdisciplinary field that investigates the theoretical and practical aspects of translation, and as such there are many resources issues that can be explored within this field. Some of the key research issues in translation. Translation quality assessment. One of the most important research issues in translation studies is the evaluation of translation quality. Such important issue here. Translation means important research issue. Translation means translation. Researchers may investigate different criteria quality, such as accuracy, fluency, and cultural appropriateness. AB Kia Hota High Key. Researchers investigate Karenj. They may also explore the various methods of assisting translation quality. Any translation quality methods such as human evaluation, automatic evaluation, and post-editing. Second point, head translation, techno. With the increasing use of technology in translation, researchers are exploring the impact of different translation technologies on the translation process and the quality of translations, such as websites translation, Google Translation, Google Translator, exact word. The exact word like so it means or confusion. They may investigate the effectiveness of machine translation, memory, and other translation tools as well as the role of human translators. The translation process Google Translator. So you have different machines and different websites. Translation and culture. Translation is not just a linguistic process. Linguistic process the data, but also involves the transfer of cultural meaning from one language to another. Researchers may explore how translators deal with cultural differences and how cultural factors affect that translation process and the quality of translation. The researcher. Translator training and education. The development of translation skills and knowledge is an essential issue in translation studies. Skills, kit development and new skills. Knowledge. Higher knowledge will be an important issue. Translation studies. Researchers may investigate the best practices for transliterating, translator training and education, including the use of translation software, the development of translation competence and the role of translation in language learning. A pitchless slide websites. If you translate to mother translation. Ethics and ideology and translation is not a neutral process, but is shared by the translators. Value beliefs and world views. Researchers may investigate the ethical and ideological issues that arise in translation, such as the representation of minority culture, and the role of translation in the dissemination of perceived agenda and the translation of sensitive or controversial topics. So it may, again, vary issues controversial topics as translation and literature. Translation is a crucial process for the dissemination of literature across different cultures and languages. Literature in Pakistan method, American literature, African Indian Nigerian and different literature. Researchers may investigate the challenges of literary translation, including the translation of poetry, cultural adaptation of literary works, and the role of translation in the development of world literature. Interdisciplinary approaches to translation studies is a multidisciplinary field that intersects with language, literature, cultural studies, and other fields. Researchers may investigate the benefits and challenges of controlled disciplinary approaches to translation, including the integration of different theoretical frameworks and collaboration between the translator and scholars from different disciplines. So this may again your translator have like translate. These are just a few of the research issues in translation studies as the field continues, so this may all be included. Research areas. There are different research areas of translation studies, but we are researching multimodal and audiovisual translation, theoretical underpinnings of translation and interpreting, technologies in translation and interpreting, translation and interpreting in the context of migration, and translation processes in a commercial context. Areas of interest. Our main areas of expertise include interpreting, translation and interpreting in the context of migration, and translation processes in audiovisual translation and audio description, augmented writing, computational lexicography, concurrent translation, corpus linguistics, distance interpreting and video-mediated interpreting, human-computer interaction in translation interpreting practices, interpreter-mediated communication, machine translation post-editing, multimodality in translation interpreting, terminology and specialized discourse, text mining, translation and humor, translation interpreting and migration, translation interpreting pedagogy, translation process, translation technologies, translator style, core research areas, multimodal and audiovisual translation, crucial types of translation in the context of digital media, audio description including translation of images into words, e.g. as aid for blind people, but also as a basis for machine learning in computer vision. Interlingual respeaking as a novel way to produce subtitles. Translation interpreting as multimodal activities, e.g. development of theoretical and analytical frameworks. Translation in the context of cultural interaction, e.g. museums, theaters, cinema. Technologies in translation and interpreting. The fastest growing segment of the language service market. Distance interpreting via video link, e.g. impact on interpreting quality, ergonomics, interactional dynamics, client satisfaction, use in interpreter education. Machine translation post-editing, e.g. productivity, new payment methods, automation strategies. Machine translation usability, e.g. the user experience. Concurrent translation using digital platforms. Translation process research, e.g. how do translators engage with online resources while they are translating. Corpus-based translation studies, digital lexicography and second language writing, e.g. analysis of big language data to support human and automated translation. Human-computer interaction, e.g. how user interfaces impact the work of translators and interpreters. How language impacts technology. Readers' narrative engagement in texts translated using different modalities, machine translation, human translation. Machine translation in a creative context, e.g. literary, marketing translation. Theoretical underpinnings of translation and interpreting. Development of translator competence, e.g. entrepreneurship, leadership, innovation. Sociological approaches to translation, e.g. social, ethical, and economic consequences of automation in translation, and implications for the design and regulation of automated solutions. Translation as part of intercultural communication. Translation and creativity. Humor in translation. Translation and interpreting pedagogy. Translator training. Translation and interpreting in the context of migration. An area in the political spotlight. Public service interpreting, e.g. impact on fairness of justice, access to healthcare. Translation and migration, e.g., language used to construe identity, minority discourses. Machine translation and migration, e.g., machine translation used to adapt to a new culture or country. Translation processes in a commercial context. New localization workflows and processes, e.g., concurrent workflows. Collaborative ways of multilingual text production. Mass production of multilingual content. Gender issues in the translation and localization industry.
Applied Linguistics Group uploaded this video for BS English students. Dr. Khalid Malik, the founder, has a PhD in Applied Linguistics TESOL. He taught at many foreign universities with 25 research papers and in a postdoc abroad. He is also an approved PhD supervisor of HEC. Join Applied Linguistics Group at youtube.com/@1966Pakistani or use a QR code to join our Facebook group at